Alright everyone, we've got a couple penalties for the British Grand Prix today. I just thought I'd go through them quickly for you guys like I normally do. 2 isn't usually enough to make a video, but there's quite a bit to talk about when it comes to these. These are penalties to both Andrea, Kimi, Antonelli, and also to Ollie Bearman as well, which really does change up the order for Sunday's starting grid. We'll go with Kimi Antonelli first because he got his penalty a long time before Ollie Bearman. This penalty has nothing to do with anything that Kimi Antonelli has done this week, and in fact, of course, it is to do with the crash that he had with Max Verstappen at the start of the Austrian Grand Prix last week. Basically, that took out both of the drivers. Antonelli was 100% to blame for that. You know, Verstappen did nothing wrong in that incident. It just ended up with Antonelli ended up going too far into the braking zone. He broke too late, slammed into the side of Max Verstappen like we already covered a few times on the channel, guys. Antonelli today, I'm recording this after qualifying. Antonelli had a good qualifying session. He was up in P7, not a bad effort at all, but he gets a 3-place penalty for the incident in Austria. Normally they don't carry forward grid penalties for a previous incident in a previous race, but in this circumstance it's absolutely fair because effectively any kind of penalty they put onto the Austrian Grand Prix for Antonelli, because he didn't even complete the first lap, it would effectively be completely moot and pointless. So for moving it forward effectively to the British Grand Prix, it's absolutely fair game in my opinion. No problem with that at all. But let's talk about Ollie Bearman's incident, because if you missed FP3 like I did when it was actually on, you may have missed what actually happened with Ollie Bearman. This is interestingly the second time he has had an incident with the red flags. Now in Monaco he got a 10-place penalty for overtaking under the red flags. This time he managed to get a 10-place grid penalty for going too quickly and losing control of his car going into the pit lane. So let me just paint the scene for you guys here. Gabriel Bortoleto in free practice 3. Basically, he went through Maggots, Beckett's, Chapel a bit too quickly, ended up losing control of his car. He flew over the actual infield section. Thankfully, he was okay. His car, though, very much was not. The suspension was completely ruptured on the front left. His front left wheel was completely off there. Bortoleto was fine, but it brought out the red flags. And when obviously the red flags come out, everybody out on track has to come into the pits while the incident in question is cleared up and the track is safe to go out again. However, Ollie Bearman, and this is a classic rookie error here, because he was going so slowly on the in lap, all of his brakes and his tyres and everything were running really cold, and he went too quickly into the pit lane. In fact, he ended up losing control of his car, going into the pit lane, hit the pit wall, damaged his car. That was the end of his session, but it was not the end of his problems by any means, because as everybody knows, there is a pit lane speed limit, and I do believe it's a slightly less one for Silverstone. I believe it's still, is it 50 kilometers an hour? Even if it is 80 kilometers an hour, he was quoted as doing 260 kilometers an hour, which is over 150 miles per hour going into the pit lane. So effectively, he sped in the pit lane. He lost control of his car, which is unfortunate for him, but the fact he was going so fast in the pit lane, the stewards had to make an example of him. It's honestly, I love Ollie. I really, really do think he's a talent, but unfortunately for him, this was an absolute rookie error, a complete lapse in concentration. Just do not do anything like this again, because it's cost him big time. He had a fantastic qualifying session on Saturday. He really, really did. He was all the way up in P8 in a Haas. His teammate Esteban Ocon was down in P15, but Ocon starts ahead of his teammate because Ollie Bearman will be all the way down in P18. A 10-place grid penalty for me is absolutely fair that he gets a big penalty for this. There cannot be exceptions to this. There's a reason why there is a pit lane speed limiter to avoid accidents like this. He was just plain careless, unfortunately, and he's got a lot of work to do on Sunday at Silverstone for his home race. But yeah, those are the 2 penalties, guys. Are they fair? Are they just? Let us know in the comments below, as always, guys. For me, 2 absolute slam dunkers, and to be honest, I think Antonelli's probably lucky it's only 3 places. I think it's 3 places just because it was a first lap incident in Austria. But yeah, your thoughts in the comments below are appreciated as always. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and who is winning the race tomorrow, guys? Let me know in the comments below.